Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing something a bit different. I am taking Bumble for an arena hire session. So I'm gonna take him and just sort of like experiment a bit, see what works, see what doesn't work, maybe do a little bit of test riding and just sort of play around with him out. I think they've got whiteboards and stuff as well, without the pressure obviously of actually having to do a test and actually having to compete. So I think it'll be really useful for him. He's been going well recently, actually, at the moment, touch wood. But I struggle so much to keep it when I go out. So hopefully this will be a good chance to practice. So I'm gonna go to the yard. I'm gonna stick the EQUESTRIAN on, the rug. I think I've told you guys about this new rug that I've got for him that is literally working wonders. And I haven't actually used it like before taking him out yet, so this will be a really good chance to play around and see if it works its magic, which I hope it does. Oh, Debbie Rogers is back. Say hi to the vlog, Mum.
Coffee on the go.
Why do you, whenever you come on the vlog, you always go really like robotic? You like speak really like staggered.
Espresso, double espresso.
Oh, you got it right, thank you. Oh, so these are literally unreal. You excited for today, Mum?
Very excited. Take Bumble out.
You don't need to be really like positive Polly. You can just like you need to get a bit
interesting to see.
how do you
The camera in your face.
I was literally, Mum, I was filming with this window down and a man like literally got in his car next to me and I like cried. So yeah, if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, etc. Let's get going. So this is Bumble with his EQUESTRIAN on. He literally loves it. I always thought he'd be a bit weird with like the noise of it. He's a little bit crazy like that. But he literally loves it. It's also got a like a handheld one you can do as well, which I've just been doing on his neck. Which is, I think this is so good for him. And you can use it anywhere that your horse is like tight or whatever. Yeah, just gonna do this before we get going. So we've just got here. It is quite a warm one today, so I'm not going to do too much with him, and I've got some recovery mush for him afterwards and loads of water. So, and it's only 9 o'clock, so hopefully it won't be too sweaty. But yeah, I'm just going to get him ready and then go and do some riding in the arenas. Are you stressed? Are you stressed? Ah, you think we're at a show? Come be in the vlog. Do you know what? I was literally just saying to my mum, I literally need a new hat so badly. I think I've had this one for 6 years, a long time. That's really not ideal, is it? So I need a new hat. So any new hat suggestions? I quite like the look of the Charles Owen Halo, I think it's called. I've got no idea if that's what it's called. I just have in my head that's what it's called. But yeah, what hats are we all into at the moment? People let me know in the comments. Also, I look so horrendous today. Like, what is going on with these eye bags? God. So to start with here, obviously I'm just giving him a big walk around, letting him take everything in. I don't think my mum videoed the bit of me taking him around the outside of the arena. He was snorting non-stop, literally like a 4-year-old. Bearing in mind this horse is like 12. you have to give him so much reassurance. But no, yeah, just a nice little walk around to warm him up, to let him have a little look around, assess the surroundings so that we can get going with, hopefully, not very many spooky interruptions. So the warm up with Bumble, I like to keep it almost a bit messy, just very stretchy, giving him lots of pats, reassuring him that it's all fine. So normally the first sort of 10 minutes with him feel quite crap. I mean, it looks a bit better than it felt. But just trying to encourage that neck out. He has quite a tendency to duck behind the contact. So always encouraging him to work from behind and to meet the front end out nicely and forward. And just getting my leg on a bit there, as you can see, just trying to get him off my right leg because he's a weird one. He's not off my leg at all, but he's also not really respectful of like the half holds, so he's a tricky one. So yeah, that's all I really do in the warm up, and then I give him a nice walk break again before I pick him back up.
How's he feeling? How's he feeling?
He feels tense. When he's tense, he goes like a bit backwards, but like tries to get his tongue over a bit.
Right.
I can't get him around my leg, so I'm just trying to keep everything almost a bit messy and just a bit like relaxed.
Yeah.
Now I'll pick him up and see how he is. So I then normally tend to pick up the canter first with him, especially on the left way, and he's quite weak behind, as you can see. He has a tendency to go ever so slightly forward time, so I try and keep the canter nice and meaningful, nice and purposeful, but still trying to introduce a little bit of forward and back. He does struggle to sit more than he probably should do, so I normally tend to start off, I think I might do it in a minute, yeah, a little bit of forwards down the long side, and then really just trying to bring him back on my seat rather than on my hand. As you can see, he does struggle, and it's nowhere near where it needs to be at the moment, but we're working on it. So, and then obviously, as you can see, any excuse to give him a little pat and a bit of reassurance, just to try and break that tension that you can't really see as much from the ground, but I can really, really feel it. And that's the biggest thing I struggle with in a test, is the tension through his body, and then trying to do movements like 10-meter circles and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, this was just a really good way to keep him relaxed, make it a positive experience for him, and still try and get him working properly. So yeah, just again keeping him thinking off my right leg. He's, yeah, quite stiff to the right, and he's had quite a lot of tension and stiffness build up through his neck, which we've been working very hard to get rid of with my physio vet, and also the EQUESTRIAN that I think I've inserted a clip of me using at the start. And just the way I'm riding him, I need to be a bit more mindful myself of not blocking him, which I am currently working on as well. So yeah, as you can see, the canter's starting to come a little bit better. He's starting to use himself and sit a little bit more, but it's just, yeah, maintaining that feeling of having him on my seat. So again, just a few more forwards and backwards. Everything I do on one rein, I make sure I do on the other rein, just to keep it nice and equal. So yeah, he's starting to come a bit better. Lots of pats, especially with that inside, because my weakness as well as his, both of our weaknesses are our right sides, so I think we've probably influenced each other on that. So every opportunity I have just to give that inside rein, I do it a bit too much at the moment, just because I'm sort of making myself aware that I'm doing it, if that makes sense, but it only needs to be a little give just to release that pressure. Now, as you can see, obviously with the trot, we're keeping it quite basic at the moment, just trying to get the relaxation, and similarly to the canter, just trying to get his neck down and out rather than tucked behind the vertical, which is where he quite often wants to be. So yeah, just keeping it nice and easy, nice and relaxed. A few little half halts here and there, and just making sure I have got him on my seat as much as I can at the moment. Sorry, I'm still getting to grips with this whole voiceover thing. I think you might have just heard quite a lot of notifications come through. Apologies. So where are we at now? Doing a few leg yields. Again, focusing on just getting him around and off that inside leg. I really struggle with him with things like corners and 10-meter circles and turns when I don't have him around my legs. So just thinking these sort of baby leg yield feelings, again, whilst trying to keep him relaxed, and I'm just trying to build his confidence back up, to be honest. He's been a tricky horse, and he's just such a warrior, so you have to keep him happy, you have to keep everything quite low-key until his confidence is where it needs to be. So hence why he's 12, and this is sort of all we're really doing. But, you know, as long as he's happy, that's my most important concern, my most important thing. So now I just thought, he's not actually listening to me when I'm asking him to come back. He's not listening to the half halts. So I'm just going to do a few transitions, a few trot walks, trot halts. And you have to be really careful with him. His go-to naughty thing that he does when he finds something tricky is he'll stop, slam the brakes on, and reverse backwards. And I can feel exactly when he's going to do that. So in the moments where I'm bringing him back like this, I have to be so quick to sort of get out of it. So I get him in the halt, and I think there's a few times here, it might be soon, where you see him halt and you can see him sort of shift his weight back, and that's him telling me that he's about to be a little bit cheeky. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you just saw that. So quickly get out of it and, yeah, keep him thinking forwards. So again, it's that fine line of trying to sort of keep him in my seat and keep him sort of understanding the backwards aids, but also keeping him thinking forward before he does actually take it too literally and run backwards. So yeah, he likes to keep me on my toes, he likes to keep me thinking, but I'm slowly starting to figure out how his little brain works. It's taken some time. So yeah, now just doing a few little 10-meter circles just to check that I've got him on that inside leg to outside rein. And I mean, the corners are still a bit shit, aren't they? Let's be honest. I do need to work on those. So again, just thinking of that trot walk transition, lots of pats when he's a good boy. Have to always remind him how well he's doing and how well he's coping. Bless him. So now in the trot, I just think, again, a little bit forwards across the diagonal. Do you know what? He's normally got an unreal medium trot, and looking back at this was actually quite shit. But regardless, he came back when I asked him to come back. So good boy, he did what I asked him to do. So again, just the same repetitive thing, keeping him on my seat. And I think I'm about to ask for a little walk to canter transition, which isn't great, but again, I'm still going to tell him he's a good boy because he tried. So now the canter, after sort of all the trot work and everything, the canter does start to come much better. He's still not as strong behind as I'd like, but I think that's just a strengthening thing. You know, I need to get going on the grounds a bit better with hacking up the hills and pole work, etc., etc. But he's starting to muscle up and he's starting to sit more and more each day, which is great news. I mean, then when I can get him to compress and sit that bit more in the canter, all the movements and everything, he understands how to do it. It's just, he just gets quite strung out at the moment. He's quite a lot of horse for me to sort of keep together. But the building blocks are just getting better and better. So hopefully we can start introducing a few little sideways things, as I'm doing here. Very baby, very, very baby, no pressure. But yeah, as you can see, I struggle to keep him, oh, little spook. I struggle to keep him together when I'm asking him to do the trickier sort of movements. But with him, like obviously with his personality, you have to just introduce things to him very slowly, very gradually. So all of these little movements that I'm doing are just very baby, not asking too much of him, and just, I think as riders we can tell when our horse is in a place to start adding that bit more pressure. So So yeah, just a little leg yield in, leg yield out. Little pat again because he's being a good boy. Honestly, my horse doesn't know how lucky he is. To be fair, that was very badly set up by me watching that, but again, just the little leg yield in, leg yield back out loops. And just a little tiny baby half pass just at the end of the session, just to remind him what we're sort of working towards. And probably the world's most horrendous change. I mean, I think it was clean, it was just not straight. But again, that's the kind of thing he can find very stressful. So the fact that he did it off my aids, that deserves lots of pats, long rein. Tell him he's a wonderful, wonderful ginger man. And I think we're going to call it a day there. But no, very pleased with him. He was a very, very good boy.
Pleased with that. I'm out of breath.
Not surprised.
So tricky.
That was really good.
Bringing him out, but
He never looks as tricky as you say he is.
yeah.
But
It's everything. It's like he really drops me, but he's really tense.
yeah.
So it's trying to get my leg on. Not even for him to be forward, just my leg on, like keeping that outside shoulder in, etc., etc. But he's just, if you ask him slightly too much with your leg, he's then like, ah!
Yeah.
So it's getting that.
I mean, you see the tension through the body, but he doesn't do anything naughty. Well, not today. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But no, I'm really pleased with that.
Good.
Good. I think if we can do this sort of,
Do it a bit more often. Yeah, every month.
it's positive.
And it's a lovely surface.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Good.
So he was such a good boy. I've showered him and he's just about to have his recovery mash. Aren't you? Would you like to have it? Would you like to have your recovery mash? And he's actually had some water. He's actually drunk today, which is good because normally he's a bit annoying. Normally he doesn't tend to drink, but he has. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Do you like that, Scrummy? This is literally his favourite part of summer. So good for them. Hello everyone, so I am a literal sweaty mess, but he was such a good boy. I did struggle with the normal things with him. Such a good boy, he felt so much better taking him out after using that rug, which is really good. Very snorty to start off with when I took him around the arena. I don't think my mum videoed that, but he literally felt like a little 4 or 5 year old. Very good boy, very positive experience. We've given him his recovery mash, he's had a shower, and now he's ready to get going. So I think we'll just do it again and again and again, and maybe get some more shows booked in. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to see more of.